Hi. I've noticed that I've come to agree that the laws of the universe never change. And over about 20 years of listening to you, the message that I heard day one is the same as it is today. So that leads me to what my desires are now, which are more curiosities. I think about something, oh, I wonder what that is, or what that's about. And my question now is kind of like taking it in a general way. Which came first, the universe or the laws of the universe?
The laws of the universe. Otherwise, the universe could not exist.
It kind of reminds me of the question of which came first, the chicken or the egg?
The chicken.
The chicken came first. So
Had an egg in it.
And an egg in it. That's funny. Can you?
Well, you see, here's the thing. When you ask that question, you're talking in terms of once it came from the ethers into a manifestation that you could see and hear and smell and taste and touch. And so what we want you to understand is that there's a vibrational reality that is in place long before that. But when you say which came first, Jerry talked a lot about writing a book, turning thoughts to things. And Esther and Jerry are working on that book. So what's going on with turning thoughts to things is that there is a vibrational version that someone has to translate. Someone has to hold the vibration of it steady enough that it can come into focus. Until there is a perceiver, then nothing really exists in terms of the way man's conscious mind works. But there is so much that is active and real vibrationally before it is realized by man. So when you ask your curiosity questions, we have to ask you from what point of view you are asking, because there's a big difference. In fact, we think that's the thing that trips humans up on everything. You don't want to count it until you can realize it. You don't want to count it until everybody else can see it too. And that's what trips you up, because it exists long before you can see it. It exists long before it's steady. It takes a lot of focus and concentration on something to focus it in to a vibrational frequency that can be read by others who are in a similar frequency, you see. And so to even talk about things in terms of reality, you got to understand the vibrational basis of them. And you really are not ever going to be very satisfied with this human see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, knock on wood experience that you are all living until you are really good at translating vibration. That's when you're going to start enjoying it.
Thank you. That helps a lot. And I have something else that I wanted to just mention. And I mean no disrespect at all whatsoever, but I find that when I do have a curiosity or a question or something that I want to do or something that might be blocking me, I put in an Abraham CD and I kind of like tune out. It's like a vibration where I don't have to think much, and I don't really even think about the words. It's like the tone of the CD sets me into a state, and then all of a sudden I'll pick up and realize, oh, you said something that really meant something.
There's no disrespect at all there, because what you're talking about is using a method to put yourself into the receiving mode so that you become the translator of the vibration. It's perfect.
Sometimes it takes me like a month, the whole month in between CDs, to even catch the whole thing. Because I just play it over and over and over and over again, and I'll catch something one time and I'll catch something another time and just kind of zone out during much of it.
Words really don't teach, but words that carry a vibrational frequency have the potential of soothing you into a vibrational frequency. And that's the whole point of any of this. Someone said, I've been a follower of you, and we say, actually, we are the followers of you. in other words. And we are not wanting you to follow, because you're actually in this leading edge environment leading. Your life experience is doing the asking. You're the one launching the rockets, and when you do, we focus and we hold them in such constant, consistent vibrational frequency that you have the opportunity, if you want to get in sync with them. But it's you in this human form, in this leading edge time-space reality. You are the ones who are bringing it into what you are calling your reality. You see, we're all in this together, and there's nothing that you are about that we are not interested in, but you are the perceivers. It is you who will receive the vibration and translate it into the tangible that others will then behold.
Got one last question. The older I get, the more connected I feel I am to my ancestors that are now non-physical.
We would say it differently. We would say the more in the receiving mode you get, the more you allow your awareness of their always attention upon you. It's not age that's causing that, it's alignment.
Thank you.
The continuity of this eternal existence, and it is, don't worry about yourselves out here, you're doing great, you're just getting started. The continuity of it is not that you're another generation born and another, and you're passing the baton to one another, and you're saying, remember where the money's buried. It's not like that. It's that as you reemerge back into non-physical, you have full awareness of what's going on here, and your interest in it, in the people, in the places, in the projects, in the evolution, in the expansion, is all very sharp and clear and focused and happening. And those like you who begin to release your resistance and deliberately tune to the frequency of that source energy, then you receive the benefit of that broader view, of that wider knowing, of that clarity. It's a leverage that is indescribable in human terms. People who move through life wanting to get other humans together because in numbers they feel power, or wanting to get strength together using the leverage of action or numbers, they can get a lot done. We acknowledge that they're moving stuff around, and we can see that a bigger group can maybe move more stuff around than a smaller group, so we can see why you might be inclined to want to be part of a bigger group. But when you recognize the leverage of power and clarity and energy that comes with alignment, when you realize that you have the ability to tap into all who have been here, and all who are adoring this, and all who know, and all who are interested, then you're sort of willing to give up your puny action power for this extraordinary alignment power. Yeah.
One last question. With that in mind, I believe in angels, and I believe that my higher power, the great...
That's a really softball belief in relationship with what we just said to you.
Yes.
Angels, really?
Yeah.
When all that is with you and focused with you, and knowing what you want, knowing where you stand in relationship to everything that you want, and knowing what resistance you've thrown on the trail, and knowing what's likely to lead you around the resistance, and never taking our attention off of you. And you believe in angels?
Well,
we're just playing with you, but we want to bring
okay.
you forward into what you just heard and what you now know. In other words, yeah, you can call them angels, you can call it infinite intelligence, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it guidance, you can call it source having your back, you can call it awareness of you and the importance of you and the blessedness of you on the minds of source energy all the time, 100% of the time, never failing you. Where are you in relationship to that?
yeah. Well, my question is about angels. Why? This is okay. It's not about. Okay. Why are angels always depicted with wings? That's my question.
Well, we were working to dispel that just now, but They're not always, but in times gone by, as humans are receiving the impulse or the image of source, it was before airplanes, it was before anything that moved very fast, and the only thing that was really getting around with any dexterity and flexibility had wings. And so the early artists depicted them like that, and the rest of you are just too lazy to draw something new. We love you so much.
We love you too.
You depict spacecraft in the same way for the same reasons these days, but it's an interesting thing. This is to us the best part of this conversation. You're still standing, and it's not uncommon as a human consciousness, thinking that source is outside of you rather than focused with you. In other words, we really want to emphasize that turning vibration to the thought, to the emotion, and to the manifestation, to the thing. We really want you to feel the evolution of all of that. We want you to accept that this is the leading edge, and that the things that are evolving and expanded to here, that this is what all that is focused forward about, you see. And so it's an interesting thing. You are witnessing an interesting vibrational interpretation. That's what Esther is doing. She meditated, she's practiced, she can find the frequency of Abraham, so she can tune right in to the vibration that is us. She can receive our blocks of thought so that the words flow seamlessly, but still they are only words that then you have to translate back into something that makes sense to you. And every word that Esther finds, and every intent that we offer, that is the basis of every word that Esther finds, is offered because we want you to remember and maybe rediscover the very important role you play in this leading edge translation of all that is. Humans want to separate themselves. You want God to be something outside of you for the most part, and you want to be something that is subservient to that. You want to do the right things so that you will be blessed by that. But so few humans really get it, that you are the living, breathing extensions of that, and that all of that is flowing to you for the fulfillment of that which it is. Source and you are one in the same. And if it were not for the bogus ideas that you have about it that cause you to block yourself and not allow the fullness of it, you'd all be flying around with ease and dexterity and confidence and certainty and love and most of all joy. You'd be having a much better time if you could really understand your part in all of this. Man wants to make himself not the most important part when you are. You are the most important part. You're on the leading edge. You're sifting and sorting and defining personally that which is new. And all that is backing you up, just eager for you to find the new that you want. And then when you find it, we're all flowing to it, through you and to it, whether you allow yourself to be part of that or not. Isn't that interesting? So many people sorting and sifting and asking, and in their asking, the universe is expanding. And the very people who are causing the expansion of the universe are often the same ones that are beating the drum of the problem that caused them to ask for the expansion, and personally depriving themselves of being the living example of the very expansion that they have created. And that's what this gathering is about, to help you not be those, to help you be those who revel in your own creation, who take joy in what life has inspired within you, who consciously connect. To consciously co-create with source energy, to consciously co-create with source energy, to really understand your angels, to really understand the benefit that they provide and the importance that they are to you and the importance that you are to them, and then to cooperatively co-create for the joy, not for the necessary expansion. The necessary expansion is happening whether you know that it is or not. You don't have to know any of this to fulfill your reason for being here. You don't have to know to be who you meant to be, to mix it up, to come to new ideas, to give birth to all those rockets of desires. You're doing your part in this expanding universe. You are, but you're supposed to be having fun while you're doing it. It'd be the difference between going to a movie and creating the movie, the difference between reading a book and writing the book, the difference between feeling it and just hearing words about it, the difference between trying to describe what love is and feeling what love is. In other words, you're out here, you are the manifestation, you see. That's why you have all of this seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching. That's why you have the emotions that let you feel the fullness of what you are synthesizing. It doesn't get any better than being who you are out here on this leading edge. It's really a good time for you to embrace it, to know it, to revel in it, to be it.